The candle itself is a very simplistic approach to object creation. It's a cylinder, so I can do that with a rectangular selection and elliptical selections. But the base, I need to hand draw a selection which I can mirror because this is a revolution object. With another selection, I isolate the top part and start shading it so that I don't bleed into the other areas of the drawing. And then I take a little bit of a lighter color and do a height light. In this case, I'll light the base, but remember that it's still going to have a shadow on the center because of the foot. I add a little more to the outline to match and fix the perspective, and now I highlight just the bit of the border around the base, which helps bring it a little more into the light. I also make the selection from other selections to shade in the foot. Now I add a cast shadow from the width of the candle onto the base of the onto the top of the base, and with some dark colors I shade in the candle. The candle is always semi-translucent because of the wax material characteristics, so I have to make the light bleed gradually in through the object. And now with some drip, I try not to make it too strong, because again the subsurface scattering of the candle gives it that sort of softened look. The little thread is also very ungrateful to shade because it is dark, but it is next to a flame. And I try here using a flame and then using the dodge tool, but that doesn't work because it doesn't make a very well defined shape. So now I hand paint a shape, I transform it back into a candle, and with using the dodge burn tool I make it brighter. I'm trying now to use a little blue to suggest a higher temperature, but that does not make any sense on this sort of situation. And I duplicate the shadow on the top and use that as the shadow for the whole thing. And using a brighter shade, I make a halo around the light, and I change the candle light layer to lighten. In this case, I'm just fixing the highlights on the copper base, which I didn't like at the beginning, and I'm using slight reflection on the bottom here on the background to suggest that this would be a tabletop.